Welcome to another episode of Wirecast Live. I'm your host, Andrew Haley, and today on the show, we have some exciting things to talk to you about, and another guest that we are very pleased to interview, Jerry Banfield. Jerry is one of those people that you can find on Facebook, you can find at jerrybanfield.com, and he has done everything. He has a long story, life story, and a lot of different experiences and things that I'm happy to get into with him, and I'm really looking forward to unpacking some of the things he's learned and sharing that with you. In addition, at the end of the show, as I said in the last show, we're going to be breaking into a new format where we really are doing the interview portion of the show as the primary context and the primary subject for the show. And afterwards, in the post-show, we'll be doing a special tutorial in which I'll be focusing on the top 5 things you didn't know about transitions in Wirecast. So if you're curious, definitely stick around for that. That will be after the interview. In the meantime, just a few announcements for you. We have upcoming next week our guest, Mark Alamares from the Mobeon Productions out of LA. Mark is a consummate live professional broadcaster and producer. This guy knows what he's doing. He goes out and he is a hired gun for some of the biggest names in entertainment and show business. He can produce a live streaming event with his eyes closed. After that, we also have Michael Shu from storyandheart.com. That will be the following week, and we should have a great show for you then as well, when we'll be talking about the tools and the specific things that anybody needs to know when it comes to great storytelling. So Michael is a bit of an expert. He started a whole website dedicated to that and making sure that storytellers have the tools that they need in order to tell great stories. So with that aside, I think those are our next 2 coming up episodes. If you can also, if you're at all curious on how you can get in touch with us, you can follow us on Facebook, on Twitter. You can also follow us that's at Wirecast, or on YouTube at WirecastTube. We are streaming live on all those platforms. If you'd like your comments or questions to appear on the screen, use the hashtag WirecastLive, all one word, hashtag WirecastLive, and we should be able to throw up your comments and questions on the screen. Not throw them up literally, obviously, but put them up, display them on the screen. And then for those of you who don't know, maybe I'm feeling a little worse for wear. I was out with a stomach bug, so throw-up jokes right now are a bit on my mind. So next up with that, without further ado, I think I'd like to bring on Jerry. Before I do, the last announcement I want to make is that you can head over to telestream.net/Mari and get our ultimate guide on Facebook live streaming. All right, let's bring on Jerry. And Jerry, you're joining us from Skype. Are you there?
I think so. I'm here.
You look good. The audio and video connection's coming through solidly. Thanks for joining us today.
I appreciate you having me. It's my first live interview, I think, on video.
Well, we're pleased to be your first interviewers. So tell us a little bit about who you are, what your background is, and how you got into live streaming.
Well, that's a good question. I've played a lot of video games most of my life, and I was doing a PhD in criminal justice when I started a business to help with video game addiction. And soon the video game addiction morphed into me selling shirts, promoting video games, and then I went back to playing video games.
Game addiction. So you were, tell me a little bit about that. Were you feeling that you were suffering from that addiction at the time? And you wanted to help others?
I was hoping to use the video game addiction to avoid the alcoholism, but that didn't work out very well. But it worked for a little while. But yeah, I compulsively played video games. No matter what, I had to get in like 20 or 30, 40 hours a week.
Oh my gosh, that's a full-time job right there.
It was, along with grad school and everything else. It was a lot of work.
Not getting a lot of sleep, I guess.
Well, I got a lot of sleep too. I just didn't do anything else.
Didn't do anything else. All right. So then you started a business to do that, and then that moved into selling T-shirts and doing video games. Did you ever decide? So I assume the career in criminal justice was put on the back burner. You're no longer in the criminal justice field.
Yes, I'm not interested in that anymore. After a police officer, corrections officer, and then getting a master's in criminal justice, I think I've had my fill.
And so what are you doing? And then so fast forward after that, you started game streaming. And take us on your journey from there. Was that how many years ago were you sort of leaving the criminal justice field and going into more of the gaming area, and then now you've moved on from that into more of an online educational and teaching type of brand and company. Could you tell us about that and how you got sort of transition from one to the other?
I'd love to. It's myself's my favorite topic, so I'll talk about that all day. When I made my business, I then switched to just trying to make money, and that allowed me to have a full-time job, essentially working with my own business. What I did was just learn skills and then immediately start asking for money to help out with people who I knew a little bit more than they did, but relative to them knowing nothing,
Mm-hmm.
I seem to know a lot more. I learned all these skills like Facebook ads and marketing. I made a business out of doing all those different skills for business owners. And then in 2014, I started teaching those skills. Well, 2013 on YouTube, I live streamed those. And then 2014, I started teaching those online. That's when I started trying live video game streams as well. Although I didn't have the confidence, I started with pre-recorded videos just as kind of a hobby to see if anyone would watch it, just to see if I could do it with the thought that I could then teach that and get more views. But as long as I drank, I didn't trust myself on live stream not to say a bunch of horrible things. So then after I went to AA, then I started trying to do live streams because I'm like, okay, I'm sober, I can talk live and not say a bunch of nasty things. So then I started live streaming. I gave out testing live stream games,
Mm-hmm.
and I was amazed at the positive feedback I got from the first few people that watched. So I started doing that more and then integrating that into my teaching, which was an amazing synergy because I was teaching Facebook ads and marketing and YouTube, and then I could pull these things from gaming, which you get so much more interaction, you get so many views, which is difficult in like the internet marketing world, but with gaming, it made a huge teaching resource.
Yeah, yeah, I bet it did. Do you find that when you were teaching those, I mean, were you primarily teaching them through online live streams or private streams to Facebook groups? Has that been a tool that you've used during your while teaching these courses or creating them? Do you find that that's useful? What are the most useful ways or tools that you currently use to teach your students?
I currently teach on Skillshare because it's the best value I see for students. It's you get a free month, you can watch all the classes you want. There's 14 or 15,000 HD video classes. I've got 76 of my classes on there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great because I use that as a student, and using that as a student has motivated me to keep learning and growing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a vicious cycle where you get good at stuff and then don't want to do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, what I find is it's more powerful to be well-rounded.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What are the areas that you're currently focusing your skills on? Again, when we booked you for the show, we wanted to talk about the Facebook and the live gaming, which is a big part of your story. But it's not by any means the only part of your story. And real quick, what I'm going to do is, if I can, pull up your website here so I could show folks what you've got on your website. And head to this is at jerrybanfield.com, and just scrolling through, it's incredible the number of courses that you offer to people. Everything from making a living online to how to create your own courses and marketing. It's pretty phenomenal what you have here. And then of course specific marketing courses on platforms like YouTube or Facebook and so forth, Google AdWords. All this you've sort of created and taught just by learning on your own, right? Teaching yourself these skills and then sort of documenting them in your own courses. Where do you feel that your most valuable learning has come from? Where do you feel that, if you were to look at yourself today versus where you were 2 or 3 years ago, where do you feel the areas that you've most improved and most learned and excelled in are?
I would say the courage to just focus on what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So to learn to focus primarily on what I do instead of what I know.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I know doesn't matter. What I do with what I know does matter. And that's allowed me to do things that seem ridiculous. Like I've started live streaming making music online. I know almost nothing about live streaming music, but I'm willing to just do it and try it. And that's how I got into all these things. I didn't know anything about Facebook ads or marketing. I just started trying to do it. And it's amazing how fast I've learned some of these skills. I'd say the most impactful thing I've learned has been Facebook ads and marketing. That's what I consistently people say, well, that was the first video I saw.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, the a huge skill is collaborating with others,
Mm-hmm.
being able to work with people without all these stringent structures. I've had a guy made hundreds of thousands of dollars selling courses with him. I mean, I've never met him. He lives over in Bosnia. I mean, I just literally could send emails and learn how to work with other people to help bring the skills out that they have,
Mm-hmm.
and then multiply those with what I do.
Mm-hmm. And so collaboration and then learning how to successfully navigate online marketing through Facebook or YouTube, those are sort of the two sort of keystones you would say to your current lifestyle and the business that you're building.
Yes.
What do you find is if you were, you're learning online music, and actually we have here a bit of a sample here. I'm gonna play. You have you're speaking of just putting yourself out there, having the courage to look silly or make mistakes and just keep going. And I think is one of the key things that any live streamer learns from the get-go is that you're gonna make mistakes. Things are gonna be a little bit different. You just need to keep going. You need to not be afraid and push forward. I think those are really important lessons for any live streamer, but particularly someone who's learning music for the first time, right? And then publishing it out there. So you have a SoundCloud account where you're posting some of the songs that you're writing and learning. If anyone's curious about that, you can head over to soundcloud.com and look up J Banfield. But we'll play a sample here. And then what I'd like to do is actually pull up one of the videos that you've posted about this so that we can sort of see you in action as you're sort of teaching and learning this stuff at the same time. What I'd like to do at that point, once we've watched these, is then talk to you about your fans and the people who are following you and watching these, and kind of going on this journey with you in real time. So let's pull up this video here. I'm going to go to the More section, check on videos here. I'm in the right spot, right?
That's my private, or my
Is this a personal page?
personal.
So we need to go to your main page.
Yes.
What's the link for that? It's facebook.com/what?
/J Banfield.
Okay.
There we go. I had the affiliate link all nicely set up, but I messed the word up somehow on my own Facebook. So thank you for helping me correct that.
No problem. All right, so let's head over to the videos section here. We've got us going live there. I'm gonna pause that. Let's focus on some of your more recent videos here. Let's see.
Oh, nice. There's all my popular gaming ones up there on the top.
You got your Call of Duty ones, and what was it like? Sort of. I mean, tell me what you think about sort of the Facebook Live gaming space, because that's really how I first heard of you, was some of the Call of Duty and the League of Legends videos that you'd put out, and I'd seen some of the stuff you were doing with that. And what was unique, I think, first was that you were doing this on Facebook, and a lot of people weren't typically streaming their games to Facebook. That was unique right there. I didn't see a lot of big streamers streaming games to Facebook. Most of them were focused on Twitch or YouTube. And the second thing that sort of made you stick out to me was the fact that you, not to put too fine a point on it, but you seemed like the wrong demographic. You weren't like a 14-year-old kid, out of nowhere. You seemed like you were much more experienced. You're a bit older. It was different from that side of things. I hadn't normally seen someone in your demographic be a game streamer. So I liked both of those things about you right off the bat when I watched your videos, because it was clear that you were somebody who was willing to try things that other people wouldn't in your situation. Can you tell me a little bit about what that was like, and how what was the response amidst your audience, and how people reacted to it?
Well, it was a lot of fun lots of times to have I think the high point, 700 people watched me one Sunday morning at live all at once playing the new, at the time, Zetsubo no Shima Zombies leveled. I mean, that was like lifetime dream right there. Like in a huge room full of people all watching it once. It was a lot of fun. Something that if I would have thought like 10 years ago, you'll be able to have 700 people watching live. It'll go out to over 1 million people in the newsfeed for free on Facebook. That would have sounded like total fantasy. So that
Hmm.
was a lot of fun. What I've learned is to look at my unique opportunities. For example, the way I was able to get kind of popular for on Facebook with the gaming videos was to advertise them. So my experience, what almost no one would do was advertise their gaming videos on Facebook. It was ridiculously cheap.
Hmm.
I could spend 8 cents to show 1,000 people in the US one of my gaming videos.
Hmm.
And doing that repeatedly added up to a lot.
Yeah. So then was the goal you would bring people, you'd advertise your gaming videos, you'd kind of show them, expose them to this, which, again, I found interesting. They'd sort of tune in and go, oh, this is cool. This guy's doing gaming videos on Facebook. Nobody else seems to be doing that. And then you would kind of lead them into your funnel, I guess, into other products that you make or courses, or they would sign up in theory that you'd lead them to the your course website where they could sign up to learn other skills. Is that kind of where you were going with it? Was that the sort of goal with the gaming thing, or were you just doing gaming because that's what you like doing?
Well, that was a strange aspect of that because I had in mind it might be possible for some people to kind of come down a funnel with my business. My main goal was to just try these things out I and be able to teach them, especially is what I really wanted to be able to do, is to say, look, here's how I do live streaming on Facebook. And I had at the time the top Facebook course before I got banned from on Udemy. I had the top Facebook ads course, so I was always looking how to stay on top, to just have things in the course that no one else will be able to teach. So the Facebook live streaming, the day it came out, I jumped right on it.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, I'd been advertising all the videos to try and just get results that blow everyone else away, like the 8 cents per thousand. If you try and advertise a video, most people, that costs $7+ per thousand. So I
Okay.
wanted to just have results that blow everyone away to show in my course.
Right. That's cool. Always pushing the envelope is key and bringing value to your customers. Now, you mentioned getting banned from Udemy. So you were actually using Udemy. Tell me a little bit about that story. How does one get banned from Udemy?
Well, Udemy is a website. I think it's the top website for selling online courses, and I I think I did too well on Udemy. I was obnoxious and was trying to dominate and be the top instructor. And I had an incredible system set up. If you came to look at one course, I mean, I had you were seeing online ads, and from me and from Udemy, it was amazing.
Uh-huh.
And Udemy paid so much money that I actually was spending $100 a day to advertise my gaming videos for months, and I didn't care if they made any money at all because that was just an expense, and I just wanted to see how it worked. And one of the craziest things I did, my brother said this was completely stupid. I made these inspirational gaming videos, like where I'd play zombies and try and do like some kind of like self-help, here's what I've learned about having a better life. And then I advertise those. So like no anywhere to make money. And I just hoped it'd help people. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how some of the really enthusiastic people found me. And then they just watch every live video I did after that.
Yeah. So, okay. So you keep leading me into new interesting areas to talk about. Inspirational gaming zombie videos that are also derived for how to have a better life. Can you explain how to put all those in the same sentence, let alone the same activity?
Yeah, I realized that a lot of people, I was doing talking head videos before, so kind of just like this. I realized that wasn't interesting to most people to watch. But I also wanted to play zombies, and I had a new baby, so I'm like, how can I put all this together? I'm like, okay, I'll play zombies, and I'll do the inspirational video at the same time. The people that just want to watch the gameplay will help get more views on it, lower the ad cost, and then the few people who actually listen to the sound will almost like a landmine. They'll step on it and start hearing all this like self-help stuff. And I thought maybe I get lucky. One person who just happened to hear it at the right time, it might make a big difference.
And it
It was
did.
more of like practical problem solving.
So you said that for some people, it actually did help change their lives, and they became really rabid fans of yours and wanted to watch what you were doing next. Is that the case?
Yes, there's been people that I started making these, I guess, a year and a half ago or so, and there's people they watch almost every single video, no matter what it is. And they go to YouTube, they hop around all over on the channels, they talk about it with their friends. That's where I really built a kind of the mosh pit in music terms, like the really avid fans.
So you have your so this kind of comes from there's another sort of marketing guru out there, Seth Godin, and I'm not sure if he's the one who originated this or if he just gets credited with it, but the 1,000 true fans. That if you have 1,000, and the concept is, and you can look it up. It's a blog post that he's written here. But the idea that as long as you have 1,000 true fans, people who will follow you no matter what you do, they're constantly interested in whatever it is you're doing next, that you're going to be fine. That any successful business can be built off of that, and that no successful business can be built without at least that, right? Because that's what we all need. Is that kind of where you're seeing this? Is this something that surprised you? Did you expect to have these sort of loyal followers that have sort of stuck with you through thick and thin? Was that an unexpected bonus, or was it something you'd expected if you just kept at it?
I I try to be of greatest service each day, and I realize if I give and provide a lot of help that other people will give back. So I try and maximize what I give, especially if I can just give something for free that's helpful or for a really low price. And I think that to me is the essence of building that 1,000 people up. And I would say since probably if you're just considering live streaming or wanting to get started, you don't need 1,000 to me. You need 1 to 10 people who really, and these will often be friends. I had about 10 friends I played Xbox with this who, though that was my initial kind of group that they watched everything I did. They looked at everything. They gave feedback on everything. To me, that's essential for getting started.
Mm-hmm. That's a good piece of advice. Start small and start with just some friends that are helping you and giving you feedback. What do you so where are you at today? If you were going to say that as far as what you've learned along the way and where you want to go, have you feel like you've achieved the goals you set out to achieve, or are there still things that you really are trying to accomplish that you haven't quite gotten there yet? Either with live
Those,
streaming or with how you're reaching people or the message that you're sending out.
what I'm going to say is I think it's going to come out as quite a paradox. I'm extremely happy with where I'm at today. If I just died right now, I'd feel really good about things. I have a life better than I'd ever known before. I'm very happy with where I am, and I realize that where I'm gonna go is not it doesn't have anything that right now doesn't offer as well. Kind of like Power of Now, that Tao or Zen. Like right now is good enough and perfect. Now at the same time, I have these gigantic, absurd sounding goals. I am excited about producing music now because I can communicate with every person on the planet. Even deaf people can watch a visualization. And I'm guessing telepathy will work if people are blind and deaf because, what else do they have? So with making music, I can literally communicate with everyone on the planet instead of being trapped in video games or English or. So I'd like to be able to just communicate my love and joy with every person on this planet, maybe even intergalactic. So that's one of my longer term visions. I'd say that's the one that makes the most sense. I can explain the fastest.
Yeah, well, no, that's great. So communication is your number one goal, and the more people you can reach. I think that's a good segue for us to show the folks out there what you've been up to recently with your streams. And let's take a peek here at one of the game streaming videos that you did recently. This is make amazing music fast starting today. So we're going to start with that one real fast.
Tell them what you said and tell them again. What I'm hoping today is that you will help me make music that you love, help me learn how to make music, and in the process, I hopefully will inspire you to make your own music and give you the tools to show you exactly how to do it right here. I appreciate you watching today. Crypto Corey, thank you for being the first on the chat. Akash, and I'm not sure how to say that. I think that name's in Arabic. Thank you very much for watching. I am going to start again from a blank track, just using some samples today, because I want to continue working on my ability to get better at just knowing how to use FL Studio. If you're interested, I just released my stand-up comedy today as well on Vimeo called Laugh With Me On Demand. What do you think would make a great beat for today? I would like to make something just simple. A simple song with a great beat. Shine says how to get started in EDM.
So I'm going to pause it right there. Let's jump ahead a little bit so we can get a little further into the track creation here. Looks like you've laid down a few beats here. So let's see where we're at there.
I'm using FL Studio. I'm not sure how to chop it straight into a bar though. I'm sure there's a way to do it.
So at this point, you're just learning FL Studio, and you're learning the software for electronic music. Is that basically what you're learning at the moment?
Yes.
Okay. And then, how has been the response to this? What have people sort of thought of these videos so far? It looks like, just based on what I'm seeing here online, over 2,000 people watched that video.
I'm very grateful, like you said, about the 1,000 fans or the 1,000 enthusiastic followers. These seem to be getting an even better reception than the gaming videos, which is just incredible. Given I know nothing about music other than watching a few video classes, it's a lot of fun. I love being able to. In that one live stream, in an hour, I literally made a song that's like 3 minutes from nothing, and I did that because people just told me what to do, like put a bass line in, okay, put in, mix it up here, change it, do this. Like I just almost like a puppet. Like people ask me to do things and I do them. So I don't have to rely on my knowledge. I'm kind of taking their knowledge.
So it's almost collaborative music making. You're taking fan engagement and building the songs as you go.
Yes, and
That's cool.
I've only been doing the live streams on these for like 8 days now, so the feedback's fantastically positive. A guy actually paid $6 to ask me a question and cuss me out on YouTube last night in Super Chat, so that was amazing.
Paid money
he wanted to make sure everyone saw it. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think on your SoundCloud, you uploaded that song up to SoundCloud, so we can play the finished version here, right?
Sure. The original title was called Boss Fight, so this is intended to be like a gaming theme.
Unique crypto beat. This is cool. It's very, I think crypto beat's a really good term for it. I like the little background. It's very retro sounding.
Well, I appreciate your feedback. I don't even hardly know how I did that, but it's amazing. It's amazing what we can do working together.
It's pretty cool. So you knocked that out in about an hour.
Yes, while live streaming.
While live streaming. Man, that's tricky. All right. Well, if anyone else is curious, you can head to the J Banfield SoundCloud account. For those of you who are interested in Jerry's courses or finding out more about what he's up to, certainly check out his Facebook page. It's a great place, again, at facebook.com/jbanfield. You can also head over to jerrybanfield.com and check out his courses there as well. And how many courses do you offer at this point?
I have 76 courses on Skillshare right now.
76 courses. You are a monster. You're not going to stop. You'll have 1,000 courses by the time we interview you the next time.
Well, I have managed to talk about myself for like 30 minutes, and I want to say I'm extremely grateful for Wirecast, and all your service at Wirecast, and the people you work with has been one of the single most helpful tools I've found for both teaching the classes and doing the live streams. I use Wirecast to record all my course videos now because I don't have to render and edit anymore. I literally push, record, start talking, push, done.
Edit on the fly. That's great. So Wirecast actually as an educational tool for creating live courses or creating educational content. That's good to know. It's not typically a use case that we talk about here at Telestream that often. So thanks for sharing that. If there's and of course, one of the reasons we make this product in the first place is to empower people like you to help communicate with others better, whether it's through courses or online live streams or building music together. So Jerry, it's been a real pleasure interviewing you, and thank you so much for coming on the show today. Hopefully, folks out there, if you have questions, get in touch with Jerry. What's the best way? Do you have a Twitter handle or an account they can chat you at or email you at?
I have... The best way is to get a hold of me on one of my live streams and post a comment. So if you subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, that's the easiest way to actually get me to respond.
Okay. How often do you stream?
I try and go live every day.
Usually same time in the mornings, or what time zone?
I'm in the East Coast, USA. I normally go live anywhere between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m., which...
It just varies depending. So as long as you subscribe to one of the channels, then you should get a notification when you're live. So that's great. Every day, Monday through Friday, weekends too?
Weekend, 7 days a week.
7 days a week. You're a dedicated man. All right. Well, Jerry, thank you so much. Folks, I hope this was helpful. And Jerry, we'll have you again on sometime. It was very nice to meet you, and thanks for sitting down in the hot seat and being interviewed today.
Well, thank you very much for having me, and I hope this is helpful for you.
It was. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
All right, guys, that was our show for today. We will be following up after this with our live demo. I'm going to be talking about the top 5 things you didn't know about transitions in Wirecast. So hopefully you'll get some learning out of that. Stick around if you still want to do that, but we're closing out the show. Again, you can subscribe to Wirecast Live. We are live every Thursday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific time with guests and topics that should be informational or educational, seeing what people like Jerry out there are doing with Wirecast and live streaming in general. And then, of course, during the learning sessions, at the end of the show, we will cover topics, everything from specific Wirecast skills like we're doing today, and more general educational topics on the state of live streaming, maybe philosophies of encoding, and sort of different media topics that we can cover as well. So we try to hit a little bit of everything on this show, and hopefully this was helpful. Thanks for tuning in today.